Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Look at this. It's another one. We are doing this. Okay, music cut. Cut the damn music. Man, I hope this thing works out today, guys. I know you're not feeling well.
No.
You're not. Well, you're semi, and
I feel amazing.
I feel like I'm coming down with something. So let's see what's going on here. This is the new and improved mid-morning Maduro. We haven't even announced it yet. This is the main man right here, Mike the Man Striegel. Apparently, he's got nothing.
I got a bad voice.
He's got a bad voice. He's got a bad voice. What a bad guy. He's got a bad voice. I hope that the angle on this thing looks like it's a little crooked, but, you know, we're going to wing it. We're going to go with it. We're all kind of crooked. Guys, this is Seamus the Irishman Tully, and he's drinking early just like this guy. I'm doing mom's coffee.
Yeah,
so
I got coffee, too. Yeah. That way I'm hyper drunk.
Yeah, beer and coffee. That is awesome. You can't go wrong with that.
You get a lot of shit done, and everybody looks pretty.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. A little, you know, round of applause for that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we've gotten our applause. We've gotten our music. We've introduced ourselves. I'm kind of not doing too well myself. Hell, I haven't even gotten the cigars that we're gonna smoke today. I'm very upset. Mike, do me a favor. Right behind you, reach back, grab the whole box. It's got a few sticks left in there of the VSR one. Let's bring that around here. And look at that. We're getting a phone call from the guy who is sponsoring this segment. We're getting a phone call from Mr. Kerry Horney right now. And Kerry, I'm about to send you a Skype. Would you be willing to do that? Oh my God, this is awesome. We got Kerry Horney on the phone, and we're about to Skype with him, whatever that means. So we're gonna Skype the hell out of you right now, brother. He's waiting to get Skyped. This is gonna be fun. All right, let me hang up with you then. Give me a second. I'll be right there. All right, so look at that. We're gonna Skype with Kerry Horney. We're about, I don't even know how, 28 minutes too late, but it'll be all right. So let me see if I can even Skype with this one. Of course, I don't have the Skype app here, so that is just absolutely awesome. Kerry, bear with me for a minute.
Can you FaceTime?
I could FaceTime. Let's see if I can FaceTime. I think I can do FaceTime.
How the train's already rolling. You might as well blow the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, what could happen? How do I enter the name of a guy here? Kerry. You see, Jesus Christ, and he talk about when we are all in, we are all in. And nothing even's popping up. Nothing's coming up. Okay, create a new contact. Lord bless me. You know what? This is going to be interesting. Hold that thought, Kerry. Hold that thought. Let me see if I got did I download Skype for this also? Of course I wouldn't have, because I'm a complete moron. Yeah, no, hold on. We're going to have to do this the hard way. So, you know what? Brought to you by the Viajante Stogie Road show here. Let me try Skype. I got to download Skype now. Jesus, help me. This is going to be just an interesting cluster fuck of a show today. Skype for iPad.
Real hard.
Literally. I got it on one iPad. I got it on my computer. I don't have it on the one that I need right now. Let's see. Details. Who cares? Just install this thing. What in the crap is this thing saying? AirDrop? I have no idea.
While he's doing that, Mike, what are you drinking over there?
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Clock Tower, or no? Yeah, Clock Tower.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. I didn't remember.
Yeah, this morning I walked in. I was like, I need a beer. So I went across, next door.
Red Buffalo.
Yep, Red Buffalo. Great brewery.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
You got coffee.
Well, I mean, I don't drink outside of the house. Okay, so now it's downloading. Apparently, I'm doing something semi-right. Just bear with me. Listen, as a lot of you guys know, I am about as techie as a piece of stone in the river. So,
No, that's Trekkie. Oh yeah.
techie, trekkie, fucky, whatever, all that shit. I don't care. I mean, we got a lot to jump into this morning. Also, here that's you, This is me, and like I said, this whole show, we're gonna talk about a couple of things once I get Kerry on and stuff like that. It's really gonna be a lot of fun because one, we're gonna have Kerry Horney on Skype. I may turn it around a couple of times so you guys can see that he is on Skype and that I'm not talking crazy. He's gonna be right by the mic.
He's a real person.
He's a real person.
He is.
And he's a good guy, man. He's a good Catholic boy. He has made an announcement this past Thursday on his show, the Viajante Stogie Road. And if you don't watch it, you're a moron. And I mean that in the kindest, gentlest way.
Liar.
Yeah, well, exactly.
He did a live show here too, didn't he?
He's done several live shows here, man. And all his live shows are fun and engaging. And he really gets people involved with it. Like, if you're in here, he'll bring you in. You know, he wants to talk to you. He wants to, to sit for you with a little bit of time with you and just have a good time. I'm going to use this as the what the heck did I just do?
Turned it off.
I turned it off. There we go. Okay, look at that. And we're going to do that again and that again. You guys out there in intelligent land, you guys must all be laughing your asses off. Slide to power up. I don't want to power off. Lord grant me strength. Sign in or create. I'm signing in because I already got one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Just okay. Sign in. Okay. The you guys gonna cut and like? Look at that. You guys are doing that shit professionally. I like that. What are you using to cut?
The Calibri V-cut.
No, Calibri Deep V-cut.
Sorry.
God damn it.
Sorry.
I use my dagger because I'm a psychopath.
He is a born-again psychopath. I mean, these kids nowadays, man.
Damn Irish.
Tell you what.
You didn't say that when I brought you a beer.
Hey, I'm part Irish. I'm like,
He didn't say that. I know he didn't. He's taking advantage of the fact that you went and got beers and everything.
exactly.
He's like, I got a
You're
beer.
angry drunk, man. I would...
Jesus, if YouTube motherfuckers got me sick, I am gonna be so upset.
That's about all you're going to be, Ted.
That's not. Oh my God, Jesus! I got the wrong thing in there. Gmail.
Now you sound like him.
.com. All right. Let's
You got
see
any
this.
crayons to lend him?
Enter password OSMIN.
I've upgraded to colored pencils, thank you.
These two guys right here.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not that I don't want to look up at you guys in the camera and whatnot. I am trying to get this thing so situated. It's not even funny. Find contacts. Continue. Skype would like to access the crap out of my contacts for God's sakes. Choose. No, I don't need a profile picture. Who the hell cares? Almost there. Yes, access the damn thing. Access it. All of the above. Allow. God Almighty.
Just breathe. You'll be fine.
That's what everybody keeps telling me. I'm terrified of that. All right, let's see if we can do this. Okay, do you guys hear that? The doom. Look at that. That's you guys right there. That's me. That's you. That's me. I know, dude. I'm telling you. The breathing hard and everything. It's not even funny. And look, we really are doing it, everybody. Look, he's on here. That's him right there on Skype. That's his big blue ball that he sent me so we could have a microphone here.
I can't see. Where's the big blue ball? I can't see blue.
There's the big blue.
Look at
It's a big blue ball. Only one though. Only one. Thank God I can't handle two. I can't handle two blue balls. Kerry Horney, what's going on? I know. Dude. It's been a morning, man. It's been a
fun morning.
It's been a I mean,
You're right on time, man. You're right on time.
I'm right on something.
11:30.
I'm right. Not always, but I'm right on something. Listen, you got
Time.
you got sexy raspy voice Mike over here.
Yep, that's me.
Jesus, and then you got
What's going on, man? How you feeling, Mike?
I'm doing all right. Wish I had a better voice.
You got the drunk Irish next to me on the other side.
Have to.
What's going on, drunk Irish?
How's it going, man?
Hey, guess what we're smoking? Listen, we're smoking VSR Stogie Road cigars. And you know what? Like I said last week, that the segments were not sponsored.
VSR.
This motherfucking segment is sponsored for all you fucktards out there by VSR Stogie Road Edición 35.
Very good.
Yes, it's the Stogie Road cigars. We got to drop the VSR though.
Oh man, listen, I take it back.
Come on, you're the director of sales. What are you
Yeah,
doing, man?
I'm sorry. I just
Dropping F-bombs.
I hearken back to the days of yesteryear when we had a different name. Those long ago years when our families came together in the croplands of of wherever the hell we come from.
Better than the craplands.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Brother, man, you are in your studio. We're inside the humidor room here.
I'm jealous.
Well, this morning has been like all about kind of like reworking with whatever we got. It was funny because we tried to do the YouTube recording so we could put it on YouTube immediately. So the angle that YouTube gives you is very tight. It's like it's very small, and yeah, that's what she said, and and so we had to then say, well, we're gonna record it on the iPad and then upload it. So like that, we get a good crisp image, and it'll be a lot more fun. But it's been a fun morning, dude. It's been a fun morning. But we're here to talk about you.
No, they don't want to talk about me, man. Not at all.
You know, man.
It's Saturday morning. And what's the weather like? Is it got
It's
crap?
crap.
It's raining.
Yeah.
It's crap, dude.
Seamus did his Irish rain dance.
Hey,
Said he did an Irish rain dance. You Irish got rain dances?
no, Native Americans.
Native Americans. So, Kerry Horney, listen, I know that we've all met you. Seamus, Mike, myself. We know you because you do a great show, the Stogie Road show on Thursday nights. And as I said earlier, if you're not watching that show, what kind of a rock are you under?
It's a very heavy
That's
one.
what I'm saying.
It's informative because you really bring a lot of good stuff about what's going on in our industry. You talk about the FDA stuff. You talk about programs that are happening currently to assist small boutiquers and manufacturers. So it's not just a show about saying, hey, I'm going to talk about one cigar and that's that. You truly do a well-rounded show. You've had wonderful people like Gabby Caffey, Mike Bellotti, Felix in the past. I mean, you've had a ton of great people on there. His name Daryl. Daryl does some good reviews with you. So
Yeah, we had Daryl doing reviews sometime. Yeah.
I mean, and it's an informative show. I like it. I mean, I know the guys like it here, but one question: Who's Kerry Horney? Who are you, brother? Who are you? Tell us.
He's a guy. I don't know. I'm trying to keep him keep him out of everything.
Isn't that a scary question?
I mean, you're wanting to
I know you're a family guy.
even
I know you're a family. No, we're gonna keep it simple.
Therapy.
You're a good Catholic guy. You're a family guy, so
I'm a good Christian.
You know.
No, I mean I'm a family guy, and I enjoy cigars, and that's really what kind of got me to where I am right now. But a lot of it was just really with me working and traveling as much as I did. I don't hang out at bars. I don't go to strip clubs. I don't golf. I don't do any of those extracurricular activities that some would do.
Two out of the three, I'm all in. The golfing,
golf.
you lost me at the
No,
golf.
not
I've
a
done
golf
all
fan.
of those things.
You're an
Right.
asshole.
Yeah. I got the
see,
badge.
but
for it.
no, but a buddy of mine who, my former manager, he traveled a lot. He used to like to golf a lot, but he traveled with his golf clubs. And trust me, when you're traveling as much as I do, or I did, it's really easy if you're a golf fanatic to be able to hit courses all over the East Coast.
Wow.
And I just, I missed my family, and I would find, I would really find peace and tranquility and friendship in a cigar lounge. And that's really why, I think, I believe that what kind of kept me going and what kind of kept my sanity when I was traveling and missing my family as much was going into cigar lounges and meeting people and enjoying good conversation, which made me feel like I was home, which helped me kind of deal with being away from home as much as I was.
That's a beautiful sentiment, because I mean, I know, for example, maybe I don't know about you, Mike, if you've done a lot of work, that you travel a lot, but I know you being ex-military, home is something that I think us as guys, when we have our loved ones back home and we hear that terminology, man, I'm out on the road, I'm doing it for the right reasons, for whatever they are, but home is so important. And, just like you said, finding a place where you can sit down, maybe engage in good conversation, it brings you just a little bit closer to that feeling that, maybe I'm not so far from home. And that's an awesome sentiment right there.
Everybody's got to have their happy place.
When the hotel, exactly. And if you can't be there, which is home, you have to do what you have to do. You're traveling a lot when the hotel in Virginia throws you a going away party when you're contracted. So, Duncan, how much I traveled back in the day. It was, leave Sunday night, arrive either Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, New Jersey, stay there for the week, leave. There are some times, just so I can get home and be with my family, I would leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday so I can get home at a reasonable time on Friday and get some work done and spend time with my family before I had to go back out on the road again on Sunday.
I remember.
And flying was, that was great, but I had so many different, locations I was covering along, the way. It made better sense to drive. Plus, every time I decided to fly, my flights were delayed. So there's a time I needed to get home in order to get, my daughter. And I was in Philadelphia, and I literally got in at 2 a.m. So I'm not a big fan of flying, but I also like having a little bit better control over being able to leave and get home and know I'm going to get home at a certain time.
Right, a little bit more control.
In an airport, wondering what the hell's going on, and it's not like GSP here is in Greenville. If you're delayed or whatever, they have an outside area where you can smoke cigars. You can't do that in every airport.
This is true. But I remember those days. I was down at Tobacco Plus, wonderful environment. If you guys are ever in the area, that's definitely a good stop in. But our story, real quick, of how we met. I see this dude come in one day in like a running suit or something. You were wearing jogging pants or whatever the crap, and I thought you were like an Italian Goomba or something.
There's no jogging.
I was like, who's this mafioso coming in here? But man, we hit it off because you loved cigars, and I could see that when you started saying, "Hey, man, what do you got that's new, that's a little bit different?" And our conversations that started over just that, "Hey, how you doing?" Developed into, "Hey, Duncan, listen, I just got back into town. I got this. I want you to smoke it and tell me what you think about it." And that led to a lot of great finds for me. One of my best stories of a fantastic cigar that you brought, I will never stop repeating it, the PG cigar line by Paul Garmerian. I've always said this, that cigar changed my life and how I look at a tobacco shop or a tobacconist shop, a cigar shop, as if you're carrying PG, you know a little bit about what you're doing in there. And I've heard the same thing from a lot of guys. Like, "Hey, man, you got PG cigars? Wow, you know your stuff."
Let me see what else you got in the humidor.
Exactly.
It's just not going to be the usual suspects. What's really funny about that, Duncan, is the one thing I liked was when our friendship began and it started to grow was, being very impressed with your cigar knowledge. And I always wanted to be able to bring something back to surprise you and wow you. Because I was like, that was like my goal. I was like, I'm going to get Duncan this week. Get something. I want to have him go, "Holy crap, that was great." And I come back and go, "Hey, Duncan, I got this." You're like, yes, I know about that. That's blah, 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 blah. I was like,
but dude, you know what? You did surprise me with a lot of great stuff because, in all honesty, you know your stuff. You know your stuff.
mean, I appreciate that. Thank you. But more of it was just the traveling. I will tell you this. Just being in the upstate, there was a few brands that I was exposed to, or I exposed myself to.
Easy. Hey, everybody!
That I was exposed to that I brought back, and now you see it all over the place. And one of the brands was Blackwork Studio. They were nowhere to be found down.
True.
I literally, Ned's Cigars, Matt up at Ned's introduced me to Blackwork Studio. Cornelius and Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
That was nowhere to be found down here. And I was at Signatures in Maryland, and they were a big Cornelius and Anthony shop. I think the guy's daughter was like a VP or someone up in the corporate office.
Right.
Paul Gamarian, that was another one. You still don't see a lot down here, but when you start talking to folks, they get it, they understand it. So it was really comical being up in that area and seeing Fertillo.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Omar de Freitas, what a great guy.
Oh my God, I met him at
Draper's.
the cigar shop, Draper's, right across
Yeah.
the street from the White House.
Yeah, that's an
Holding
iconic
event.
spot, man, right there.
And it was
amazing.
I can't remember what blend he had just come out with, and he was sitting there eating lunch, and they had a good deal. I sat there, shot shit with him. Really super nice guy, and his stuff was in Old Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, what's this? They're like, oh, it's a local guy. He used to work for NASA. Blah blah blah. Now he's making exclusive blends for them.
Oh yeah.
Now
yeah.
he's blown up.
Now, and
You know,
he's being produced, if I'm not mistaken, by Joya de Nicaragua.
Yeah.
So I mean, good stuff.
But I mean, it was stuff like that I was exposed to with my travels that I was able to bring back, and you and I would always share stuff, but now I'm starting to see it blow up, and I'm like, wow, I remember, back when you couldn't find Cornelius and Anthony anywhere down here, or Blackwork Studio, couldn't find it anywhere down here.
Well, you know what? We're gonna jump into also what got you to this cigar, which is the Stogie Road Edición 35.
That's what I've been thinking about. Is what how did this come about?
Exactly. So I have a complaint that I'm gonna make about this cigar. So I'm gonna put this live. I mean, and it's gonna be everywhere. My complaint is there's not a damn thing bad about this cigar. Not a damn thing bad about it. It's awesome.
Well, maybe the guy who's the owner, maybe you can complain about him being a little bit of a jerk sometimes.
This is it's a fantastic smoke. So now Seamus, said he wants to know what led you to this. How did you all of a sudden go from being a good family guy, traveling guy, loving cigars, say, you know what? Hey, one day I want to have my own cigar line. How do I do it?
Well, with all the traveling and visiting the cigar shops and seeing what's in the humidor, and then obviously, our friendship, we started off doing a show on Friday afternoon. It was you okay?
My mother is trying to signal me something, but I can't do anything. Yo no puedo hacer nada.
You got to do better. Your eyes were like bulging out of your head.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm like, she's making me these signs, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't,
There was somebody at the door.
Well, it's 10 minutes to 12. We got time.
For what?
Exactly.
You got lunch coming or something?
Yeah, lunch is coming.
But that's funny. We used to do our show on Friday afternoons.
I remember.
As like a happy hour. It was the Stogie Road show and the Crazy Cubans commuting. Doing everybody was doing cigar reviews at the time. I'd start doing cigar shop reviews, and it actually came up with a guy who you introduced me to, Gabby Caffey. As we started to talk and discuss things, the conversation just came up because with all your traveling and all the people that you meet in the different shops you're in, have you ever thought about coming out with a cigar? I said, I have, but I had something specifically in mind. And he said, what's that? And I go, well, first of all, I want to make sure I'm with the right person when I do make the cigar. The second is I don't see a lot of barber poles in the humidor. And I always felt like the barber pole always kind of was representative of the Stogie Road. It's the winding road.
I agree.
I said, the one thing that Duncan always brought up to me was that when people make, barber poles, the reason why that the construction is off is because they use 2 half leaves. You want to make sure that you use a full leaf. Make sure that construction is tight with and dead on. I said, so whenever I do decide that's what I want to do, I said that's what I want to do. And he's like, we could do that. I'm like, okay, let's talk about some blends. And the conversation just started to strike up. This was over a couple of months, Seamus. This literally was over a couple of months. This wasn't, hey, let's make a cigar, great, let's do it, boom. I mean, I was feeling out Gabby for a while. He was feeling me out as well, to see if this was going to, work and if it was right. And I wanted to have a cigar that both a newer cigar smoker and a more experienced cigar smoker would enjoy. The Paul Gamarian blends always inspired me because of the transitions of the flavors that they had. Felix Mesa's Barber Pole inspired me as well.
All of them very well crafted, all of them.
So that's really how I got to the point where I was like, okay, well, send some samples. Here's what I'm looking for in a blend, and they literally hit it dead spot on.
Let me ask you, real quick, were you ever afraid? Because, I mean, in our industry, sometimes the barber pole is also considered a little bit of a gimmicky cigar because, sometimes, we can walk into a cigar shop and, you got the one that has the 3 wrappers and the designs and the this and the that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we look at them and go, wow, they look nice, but did you ever have that doubt or fear that I just don't want my cigar to be interpreted as such?
Well, just what's funny is yes and no. First and foremost, I can't remember if it was you who told me this story, but the barber pole came from the leftover tobacco.
Correct.
If you have leftover tobacco and you don't have enough wrapper for a Maduro and you don't have enough wrapper for a Connecticut, we'll just mix them together. Boom.
There you go. Make a barber pole.
So I thought, wow, that's, you're looking at the leftovers. You're not wasting anything, and you come up with this great idea. Some people get a little gimmicky with all the different stripes and freaking zigzags and shit. But why can't it be a good cigar? Why must it be just reserved to the scraps? Why can't you take something like that and put forth the same effort as you would as a traditional blend, I guess you would say.
I agree.
and make it not only eye appealing but also flavorful. So yeah, there is a gimmicky or a hook there with the look of it, which is appealing. But if it smokes well and it tastes great, then so be it. And so there was some concern because of the issues I've always had with barber poles. I didn't want someone to look at my barber pole and go, another barber pole is probably going to burn wonky and canoe and it's going to collapse and blah, 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 blah. But
I collapsed. I was trying a 2-inch ash. I collapsed.
I was just thinking to myself, that is a great ash you got going.
Son of a bitch.
You got a great ash.
Yeah.
That's what he said. There you go.
But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring back barber poles. I mean, in my own mind. I mean, it's not like
but that's a
Bringing sexy back.
yeah. It's like but that's not a bad idea because listen, not only
my thought.
Not only did you bring something back, in my opinion, on a very real level, you brought it back to guys who. I remember when you sent out samples. It wasn't just to me. It was just a couple of guys that you trusted and valued their opinion, and you kept getting back some phenomenal feedback. One of the neat things I like about it is what you did, and the camera's far away, but this is the actual simple cedar wrapper with a little nice satin brown foot on it. That it's classy. It's not overwhelming. There was no ring on it. It was about really accentuating the cigar itself. When I
spot on with that.
yeah, I mean, the important thing is the cigar is I'm putting a cigar out there that's going to represent my journeys, my enjoyment of that road. So it should be about that. I think it's great. And
the other thing too, Duncan, not to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to take a breath.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You got big lungs.
I know, right? The one thing that I always thought was an eyesore when I saw the barber poles is the cigar ring on it, and that's just me, right? I just felt it interrupted the flow of the barber pole.
It fights.
Right?
It fights.
and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do a ring. And that's what I was talking to Gabby. Because what about a cedar sleeve? And I'm like, you know what? This cedar sleeve, not only as you pull it down, it gives the impression of the barber pole, you know, that you would see with the spinning. But the other thing I noticed with barber pole cigars is that, you know, the chipping, you know, people can pick it up, they can drop it. That cedar sleeve also protects the wrap.
Two-thirds of the cigar is protected, and it's inside a nice cellophane.
I got something to say about
Exactly.
that cigar too a little later.
So that cedar, it may influence the flavor a little bit. Who knows? I mean, probably. But at the end of the day, I think it looks good. It's straightforward. It's classic.
Yeah.
And it also protects the barber pole, which I think is a little bit more prone to chipping. And there's nothing worse than walking into a humidor and seeing a barber pole and seeing it all freaking chipped up and shit. And you're like, what the hell is that? It looks like, someone, dropped it a couple of times. I don't want that.
And you know, it's you said you've dropped a few yourself, haven't you?
Oh man! So this was yesterday morning. I brought one cigar with me to work, which is unusual. Usually, I'll probably smoke, 2 a day. One on my morning run and one on my afternoon run. And I just got back from my morning run. I'm doing a couple things around the shop, and I just picked up one of yours, the Marine Corps edition, and I hadn't cut it yet. I set it down on my desk, and I went to go pick something up, and I brushed it with my jacket sleeve, and it fell to the concrete floor, and I about lost my mind. It blew the cap off of it. It split down the side. It split at the foot. It split at the cap. I was beside myself.
Jesus, did you need a hug or something?
No, I wanted to fight somebody, but it was all my fault, so there's nobody to blame but me. Smoked it anyway, to the best of my ability.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
But, it's so sad when you get like a really good cigar you really love and you drop it and it cracks like, oh.
You know, it's funny. I heard one time, I don't know if it was from you, that a sign of a good cigar, believe it or not, when you toss it out.
Yeah, 2-foot drop test.
Well, when you toss it out the car window when you're done with it, if that thing does not explode, that was a good thing. That was good, and I've seen that.
I've seen him bounce a few times.
Yeah, like I was like, wow, that's a hell of a damn well constructed cigar. That thing bounced on everything.
Like when it bounces off the car behind you.
Yeah. And a 10-car pileup ensues because you threw a cigar at him. Oh, God.
But no, man. Back to the cigar. I love the fact, first of all, and I've been looking at their cigars, the actual concept of the barber pole effect is consistent in every single one of them. When you look at them, they're elegant, they're nice, they're clean, even without taking it out of the wrapper. Like I said, this is a show that's a work in progress, so I know the camera's far away, but it's very, very well put together. I like the 10-count box. I'm a huge fan of that for a couple of reasons. Prior to you making the announcement of bringing me on board to work with you, I'm a fan of things that work well as a tobacconist in the shop. I see the narrow boxes, which are what's called shelf friendly, but that still is an investment.
Those are the taller ones, right?
It's a little narrow. You slide, but you're thinking about 20 to 25 cigars. If you're a startup, if you're a small brick and mortar, if you're a mom and pop shop, and you want to experiment with some great boutiques, it's not that easy sometimes to say, hey, I have to allocate, to buy 5 boxes at maybe $100, $120, my cost, then say, you know what, I can buy 5 boxes at $55, and that's a little bit easier. That's very nice because you got a nice 10-count box. It is a standard shelf box, so it's got presence. I love the artwork, which I saw the development of it. From your drawings, I think, on a piece of paper or napkin, to the usage of your grandfather and that DeSoto in that picture.
I had a question about that car. I'm a huge car guy.
He's a car guy.
I was wondering about that car. That was him and his car, or was that a picture you found?
That's my grandfather and his car.
That's awesome.
My family, I'm from Pennsylvania originally, and my great grandfather owned one of the bigger dealerships in our town of Lebanon, and they did everything. They actually sold and brought in the first police car in our town.
Right on.
So my grandfather owned a car dealership, and it got handed down to his sons, and my grandfather was one of the sons, and he was a mechanic. My grandfather was actually an outstanding and excellent diesel mechanic, and so cars have always. My dad's a mechanic. Everybody's kind of have in the cars in my family, and that is a picture of my grandfather. I believe that is a 1936 DeSoto. And the picture was taken, I believe, in 1939.
Wow.
And the map of Greenville, which this is, an homage to my family back home.
Right.
And then my current home now, Greenville, that's a map of Greenville, 1939. And then we have the compass, which is obviously representative of the traveling in a Stogie Road, with a little bit of a sun effect to it as well. So, we kind of got. My original concept was to have something like this originally when we first launched, but just time and creativity and everything else just kind of. The lack thereof with creativity and being able to do that or complete that was just not in the cards. But eventually, we had somebody come in who's a professional and take the concept and make it a reality.
I love that. I mean, there's history there.
That was what I was gonna say. Was I'm a huge history buff, and just that tie-in with like you said, the Stogie Road itself, and the family history behind that, and the automobile itself. It really brings it all home for me. So it's really it's really cool to hear that whole story.
Well, you know what?
Thank you.
And I'm going to say this. I know Mike's been... So for the people who are going to be watching this, he hasn't been feeling well. So Mike will be back to his ebullient, rambunctious German self next Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to have to calm him down a little bit.
Because his guy, I can tell when he's down.
I like how you identify everybody's nationality.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. And well, it's all right. You're a damn Polish Goomba over there. And I love you for it.
Listen, the name Horney was originally Horney, and it's a Slovak.
Slovakian. I love that.
European either way.
Did I say the right? Slovakian? I don't know.
Man. You make V's to B's, so I'm sure.
Yeah, I say B's and V's and V's and B, whatever. So, but I dig it. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to laugh at something. For being one blend, right? One blend, which is what you got. That's rock solid. Now you expand it into second size or second vitola for us cigar geeks out there.
Yeah, the Lancero.
The Lancero.
Lancero is really good.
I honestly think that you retweaked a little bit just by creating a smaller, more condensed format. It transformed this cigar completely, in my opinion. So I like the Lancero. We do well with both now. So that's exciting to see that someone just said, I'm going to focus on one good, solid blend. I'm going to focus on one size, respect it enough that I can put all my energy behind it. And you're now in, I think, 8, 9, 10 states, something like that?
Yeah. I think it's about close to 10 states, about 30 shops, and 3 countries.
When did you start? Nice. When was this launched?
March of 2019.
Wow. I mean, that's aggressive right there, but such an organic, well done push.
That's the American dream.
It's not like you said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy 50,000 likes for my cigar," or "I'm gonna do a $200,000 marketing campaign." I know when you traveled, when you were still a little bit on the road, you had developed great relationships with many great shops that currently carry this, and it was that one-on-one personal thing. They believed in you. You believed in their shop. You had connections. You had conversations. And when they said, well, if Kerry's got a cigar, we got to have it, it was almost like it was a no-brainer.
I think it's building credibility along the way, too. That was really the key, is building credibility.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I was able to do along the way, was build the credibility of not only my knowledge and also being humble and honest enough to know when you don't know. There's a lot of people out there who they say fake it till you make it, and I'm like, well, that's only going to go so far. I mean, you're going to look like a jackass if you continue to do it that way. You got to educate yourself, and you got to spread that education, and build that credibility. So my intention was never to say, hey, I'm going to go travel and then come out with a cigar. But when it does happen, the byproduct of being a good, honest person and honestly a helpful person, because the one thing, if you remember, Duncan, that I was doing is with my traveling, I was not only bringing cigars down to you and introducing them to you, I was also taking cigars that you had given to me, and you had said, hey, this is a great cigar, and I introduced them to the Northeast as well, in other states, whether it was El Galan or Gabi Cafe, and even Blackwork Studio. I mean, I made recommendations, or Mike Bellotti, MLB Cigars. I made recommendations, suggestions to shops, PG. These are great cigars that you need to bring into your shop. And when they smoke it, they're like, wow, you really not only understand, cigars, blends, et cetera, but the key was to understand and looking at their humidor and seeing what would really work well
Agreed.
in their humidor for their clientele, for their customers. So that was really the one thing that helped me, I think, along the way. So the byproduct of being able to do that was when you do come out with a cigar, that they already have that trust and credibility built, that they're willing to take that risk or that chance to go ahead and say, you know what, you just didn't go to someone and say, hey, what extra bundles do you have? Well, I'll slap a freaking cigar ring on it, and I'll call it Viajante Stogie Road, or I'll call it Stogie Road Cigars.
Exactly.
I said the V word. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of thought put into it. There's a lot of time and effort put into it. And I do appreciate all the feedback and all of the guidance and help that you've given me throughout that process, and continue to do so. But also with Gabi Cafe, is the time and the effort that he put into it, to be able to, take that chance where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to come out with X amount of boxes, and we're going to see if we can move them. And it started to pick up, and it started to grow, and we're here now with two Vitolas.
Mm-hmm.
After like you said, coming out with the Toro and perfecting it as much as you can with a handmade product, and respecting it. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I love Lanceros. You and I talk about, Lanceros, and I'm like, I'm going to come out and I'm going to do a limited release.
Right.
And I'm going to come out with this because this is, at this point for me, it was kind of almost a passion project, because I like, I love them. And Gabby's like, okay, well, Lancero with a barber pole, that's a little tricky. And Lanceros also, that the roll is, they usually have a little bit of tighter draw.
Yep.
So we kind of worked out a way with someone in the factory who had a special way of constructing a Lancero where you don't have that, eyeballs, sinking back into your head trying to get a draw.
Yeah.
You got a really nice burn, almost to the point when you tell people, listen, when you smoke this, don't be so aggressive with it like you would with normal Lanceros. Kind of work with it because it's going to burn nicely.
Well, here's the other thing as well. In my opinion, due to the fact that there's a slighter, smaller format, if you smoke that at the same, gusto of you're smoking this one, it's gonna tell you how you doing, Susie. It'll tell you. It'll definitely give you that wow.
It'll sit you down.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It'll
one
sit
thing
down
I was
if you're
wondering.
not ready for it.
One thing I was wondering is the size difference, the Lancero versus, I guess, the standard. Does it change the flavor profile, or does it change the strength, or both?
I'm going to defer to my director of sales.
Yeah. Let's see if I can hand.
He does a way better job.
The word of the day is enticing. Still no idea how to translate that. So there we go. Tentadora. Hell with tentadora.
Tantalizing.
Tantalizing. There you go. But okay, in this particular case, what I encountered is that the flavor that I was enjoying here was intensified. The strength that was already in here was also intensified. So on twofold, yes. A lot of times we say that the ratio changing from maybe a 50-50 here is now almost an 80-20. So 80% of the flavor, 80% of the strength will be more